¿Qué pasó, familia? Welcome back to Northside LDN. ¿Qué pasó? Listen, hope everyone's doing good. Friday, graças a Deus. Thank God it is Friday, man. I'm done with work. I hope everyone's doing okay. Thank God we're going into the weekend now, and Arsenal are heading into the weekend positively, may I say, because we beat PSV. Yes, it wasn't convincing. I was happy, contento. We got the win. You know what I mean? Sometimes, yes, you got to win ugly. Dominated possession. We wasn't clinical, but ultimately Granit Xhaka got the win for us. So ultimately, I'm happy, people. I hope everyone's good. I hope everyone is wearing for the weekend. Obviously, this weekend, Arsenal have got Southampton. I'm expecting another win. I expected a win against PSV. My match prediction was 3-0. We actually won 1-0. I'm expecting against Southampton for Arsenal to pepper them as well. I'm expecting a 2-0, another win. And let's continue, the good form of results. Definitely a positive week so far for Arsenal fans. Listen, I'm going to crack this desperados before we get into the news. Isu caramba. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need a little cervecita. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. All my cervejinha here, and it's all good. You know what I mean? People, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Listen, we're going to get straight into the news surrounding Arsenal. I'm in a good mood. Arsenal won against PSV, even though I didn't think it was the best performance. We still won. Let's go into this news. Arsenal sends scouts to what? £62 million winger. Now, it's a Brazilian winger. Mudryk is his name. He plays for Palmeiras out there in Brazil. I think he's only 16 years old. And apparently, we've got scouts scouting him. Now, he's another player, just like Gakpo, who didn't perform yesterday for PSV. For me, that was his chance to show us why we should go in to the January transfer window, as a matter of fact, and go in and get him. Gakpo didn't turn up. He didn't show up. And I don't really want to go for him. He didn't offer anything against Arsenal while he was playing for PSV. So I don't really want Gakpo. Another one that a lot of Arsenal fans were acting as if they knew, like they watch that league. They don't watch the Dutch league. And this is why I'd rather only big up players that I've actually seen. I've actually seen play for 90 minutes and see if they're good enough. Now, Mudryk is another player, just like Gakpo, that's been linked to us non-stop. Every transfer window is linked to Arsenal. That we're going in for him. There's quite a few wingers that we've been linked to. But this guy is 16 years old. And the Brazilian market is always a market that a lot of clubs look into. Obviously, Real Madrid have been quite successful. They got the Rodrigo kid, the young winger that this season is performing for Real Madrid. He's doing okay. They've also got another Brazilian winger from some reason I can't remember what his name is. What's the name of the Real Madrid winger? I can't remember his name. Hold on, let me get him. I don't know why I can't remember his name, man. He's performing well. What's his name again? That's it, Vinicius. Flipping hell. What's going on, man? Flipping hell. Friday, man. Friday, I'm feeling tired. It is what it is, but I might be tired, but I'm on the cerveja. Listen, Vinicius as well. He's really stepped up. You know, obviously Neymar came from the Brazilian league as well. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. There's a lot of Wonderkids in the Brazilian league. A lot of kids that, you know, come to Europe with a big reputation, obviously killing it out there in Brazil. And sometimes it takes them a while to adapt to European football. Obviously, the level from Brazil coming up to Europe is different. Obviously, they're stepping up a lot of levels coming to Europe. But Mudryk, the Palmeiras winger, is he good enough for Arsenal? I want to know what you guys think. Is he good enough? Should we strengthen with him? Personally, I think he's too young, 16 years old. I think it's too much of a jump to go from the Brazilian league all the way to the Premier League, the hardest and toughest league and most physical league in the world. We've seen even Martinelli, for all the talent that he has, he's still developing, he's still becoming good. And for £62 million, I mean, there's better wingers out there that we can go and get. You know, you can go and get Zaha, you can go and get Pedro Neto, you can go and get, there's loads of wingers that you can go and get instead of this kid. Listen, maybe he is a great player, maybe he does have a massive future ahead of himself. I'm not too sure. Obviously, they're raving about him over there in Brazil. Mundo Deportivo recently reported that any interested club would have to pay £62 million to sign Mudryk. But I don't know. I'm not too sure. I kind of feel like we've got enough youngsters in the squad. I'd like to add players with experience, also players that are ready to hit the ball rolling, players that are ready to, push us into continuing this league charge. You know what I'm saying? If we're supposed to be competing with Man City, we need people that are going to come in January and be able to hit the ball rolling. Not players that are going to take an adaptation period like we've seen with Fabio Vieira, like we've seen with other players. We need players that are going to be able to perform straight away. And I think we've had some success in getting players from the Premier League into this squad. When we got Gabriel Jesus, he hit the ground running. When we got Zinchenko, hit the ground running. We're performing straight away. Will this guy be able to do that? I don't really think so. I mean, we've already seen how hard it is for Fabio Vieira to adapt to the Premier League already. Okay, he hasn't been here a year, but, he's still taking a while to adapt. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, it's better to get somebody that's able to, perform and give us 8 and 9s and 10 out of 10s every game to help the youngsters and guide the youngsters. I think that's what we're lacking. We're lacking a few more leaders, a few more experienced heads, a few more players that's been there, done that. You know what I mean? And I at the end of the day, this kid, he probably has a lot of talent, but at the same time, 62 million for a 16-year-old that's not proven, I think that's a big, big gamble. Big, big gamble. We've even seen João Felix at Atletico Madrid. I think he was a massive gamble for them, and they paid, 100 million euros? Something like that for him. And has it really paid off? I don't really think so. I don't think he's really lived up to that price tag. I'm not saying that João Felix ain't good enough, but he ain't really lived up to that price tag. Now, are Arsenal really going to go in for Mudryk, a 16-year-old? You know what I mean? A 16-year-old and pay that much money. If he flops, I mean, we can't keep burning money away. I mean, we tried it with Pepe. It hasn't really worked out for Pepe. I don't think he's a trash player, but he's definitely not worth 72 million. I think that Mudryk is another risk. He's another big risk. If we go in and it doesn't work out, Arsenal not the type of club like Man City, like PSV, that can go and just spend 62 million on a player and, be calm if it works or if it doesn't work. If we're going to spend that money, we need to be, assured that it's going to work out and the player's really going to, hit the ground running. Especially when you have other options like Mudryk that's actually performing. Whether you think he's a finished article or not, he's a player that is hit the ground running and is performing in the Champions League. He's got a lot more credentials in Europe than this kid has because he's never played in Europe and he's only 16. It's a lot of pressure as well. As soon as these price tags are added to these youngsters, the price tag, it can be a gift and a curse. Getting him in, people are not going to care that he's 16 and still developing. It will be Arsenal spent 62 million on a Brazilian winger. He's expected now to at least have minimum 20 to 25 goal contributions at the end of the season, minimum, for the price tag that that he's coming in for, maybe even more. So I'm not too sure with this Mudryk. I'm not too sure. Let me see if Transfermarkt can get some of his stats up. Let me check in Transfermarkt because obviously I don't watch the Brazilian league. I'm gonna keep it real. And yeah, I keep seeing this guy Mudryk. Let's see what Transfermarkt is saying about this guy. I want to see what they're saying. Hold on a sec. Here we go. Right, Transfermarkt. Let's see his stats. Let's see what this guy's saying. For that price tag, he should be ripping up the Brazilian league. I'm expecting at least 30 to 40 goal contributions in that league. That's what I'm expecting because otherwise I don't understand why he's 62 million. He's only had 2 appearances. He can play centre forward. He can play on the wings. He's had in the Copinha, which is the Brazilian Cup, he's had 7 appearances, 6 goals. In the league, he's only had 2 appearances, 0 goals, 0 assists. I'm not too convinced. Transfermarkt has got him. They've got him valued at 15 million euros. So I don't know whether 62 million is. I just think a lot of these news articles they just need some news. They just want to put something out. You know what I mean? They know that Arsenal need to strengthen in January if we're to continue this good form, and they seem that we need to strengthen on the wings and just put 2 and 2 together. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, it's not been great. Only 6 goal contributions. I mean, six goal contributions in 7 games isn't too bad. Well, in 9 appearances actually isn't too bad, but still doesn't warrant 62 million. So listen, people, let me know if you've seen this guy, Mudryk, the Palmeiras winger. Do you rate him? Do you want him at Arsenal? Can play centre forward, can play on both wings. Would you want him at Arsenal? For me, I would rather go for somebody like Pedro Neto I'd even rather go for Mudryk. I'd rather go for Zaha. I'd rather go for wingers like that instead of going for this kid, especially at that price tag. It is what it is. Could he be the next Martinelli? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Leave the comments down below. Now, another headline that I saw today that I want to get into. Arteta unconcerned by potential Saka burnout. Now, we saw Saka yesterday against PSV going down. When he went down, I was like, this is exactly why I was a bit annoyed to see him starting against PSV. PSV, for me, even if we put Marquinhos on, I was still expecting a win. I was still expecting us to slap them up. And I just don't understand why Saka, once again this season, it's the same Bucaria where he has to start every game. I just don't understand it. I really, really don't understand why Saka has to play every game. I think last season, Saka was immense. Probably our best player last season, without a shadow of a doubt. But also, we saw him burn out. Sorry. We saw him burn out towards the end of the season. Now, Arteta, if you're seeing the kid burn out, why didn't we get somebody that can rotate with him that you trust? Because clearly you're not trusting Martinelli Marquinhos to rotate with him. You're not trusting Reece Nelson to rotate with him. At the end of the day, you can't play every competition. You can't play every game. We can't be expecting these youngsters to play every game. And it seems once again, Saka's playing every game. And then when he went down against PSV, I'm sure every Arsenal fan was kind of like holding their breath, like, please, 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 caramba, please let this not be an injury. You know, I surely was feeling like that because I'm thinking he's a player that is integral for us to compete for the league. You know, even to get top 4 this season, which the aim was top 4. You know, he's integral to that. It was top. Well, all the Arsenal fans are telling me it's top 4 this season. Arteta's got to get top 4 and he's got to get a trophy. If we're going to do that, then Saka is integral to that. So I just feel like games, you know, group stages, if we're not rotating him, we're not going to ever rotate him because as we progress now, we're top of the group. We're definitely going to qualify. If he's not going to be rotated against the group stages, he's definitely not going to get rotated in the knockout stages, will he? So I just don't understand, man. Like, this guy already plays for England. He plays in the Premier League. Now he has to play in the Europa League, almost every game in the Europa League. Then we're going to expect him to play in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And then we're expecting him to not drop in form, not to get injured, not to get suspended. We got to manage these youngsters a lot better this season. If we're going to get the most out of them, I feel like we have to manage them a lot better. And I don't think it's right that Mikel Arteta came out with what he came out with after the game. He said, look at the top players in the world. They play 70 matches every 3 days and make the difference and win the game. If you don't want to be, if you want to be at the top, you have to be able to do that. And if we start putting something different in the mind of our young players, I think we are making a huge mistake because it's one yes, one no. Now I don't play now in AstroTurf and I don't play. I don't want that. I want them to be ruthless. Every 3 days, they're going to be knocking at my door. I want to play. I want to win the game. There is not a fitness coach in the world that's going to tell me that they cannot do it because I've seen it 72 games and score 50 goals. The players score 50 goals and can't play 38 games in a season. It's impossible. Listen, for me, I just feel like I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him because at the end of the day, you need to use the squad. That's the whole reason why we've got a squad. I also feel like you can't have a man playing 90 minutes every game. Look at the way that Man City are managing, how Pep Guardiola is managing Haaland. Haaland came to Man City. He hasn't got the best record in terms of injuries. And look at the way he's managing him. You know, certain games, he's not playing 90 minutes. Certain games, he's not playing at all. He's managing him. He's managing him. You know, he's playing in the Premier League. But when it comes to the European games, Haaland isn't playing 90 minutes every single game because he's managing him, you know? And that is somebody that is, for me, a lot closer. A lot of people may not agree, but I think it's a lot closer to being world class. We'll see. You know, it's his first season. But at the end of the day, regardless of where you rank him in his ability, he's a top striker. He's integral to the way that Man City are performing this season, and he's being managed. So why are we not going to manage Saka? Why are we not? Are we waiting for him to pick up an injury? Is that when we're going to react? Is that when we're going to say, okay, cool, maybe we should rest him now? But now that it's too late by then. He's already picked up an injury or, you know, had a knock. The fact that the guy's gone down holding his leg, yeah, maybe he did pick up a knock. if you make him play like Arteta did yesterday, you can aggravate the injury. I just think that he could be managed a lot better. I don't know what you guys think about it. I feel like he could be managed a lot better. And I think that we should rotate the team. At the end of the day, if Marquinhos, if players like Reece Nelson are not gonna start the game against the group stages against the weakest team that we're gonna face in the Europa League, when are they gonna start? When are they gonna get game time? When are we gonna be able to see them perform? I don't know, but I definitely feel like Saka needs to be looked after. I want to see the best from Saka. I want to see him go a season uninjured, no injuries, pick up no knocks. You know what I mean? We've seen at Arsenal when we haven't managed certain players in the correct way, like Jack Wilshere and players like that. We've seen, how it can, affect the potential, affect what they could have been because we didn't manage them properly. And I don't want to see that with Saka. We saw with Diaby as well, but at times we didn't manage Diaby in the past. He had a bad injury record, and at times we didn't manage that in the right way. So I don't want to see that with Saka. I want to see Saka fulfill his potential. He's definitely a player that's got world-class potential, and I want to see him fulfill that. But Mikel Arteta feels different and feels like these youngsters can play basically every game of the season. I just think that's crazy. I really feel that that's crazy. I'm not saying that Mikel Arteta couldn't use him for the last 20 minutes to close off a game or last 15 minutes. But giving him 80, 90 minutes every game, I just think it's too much for him. I think it's too much. But that's my opinion. Let me know, people, what you guys feel and think about Saka. And Mikel Arteta saying that he doesn't need to manage him. He doesn't need to manage his time. Let me know what you guys think. And we'll get on to the next headline, the next bit of news. This time it's Martin Keown talking about Granit Xhaka. Keown lauds Xhaka after outstanding finish and praises Arteta for his development of the Arsenal star. Martin Keown has been quick to praise Arsenal midfielder Granit Xhaka following his impressive start to the season. It says here, what does he say? Martin Keown said on BT Sport, Granit Xhaka is now becoming an Arsenal fan favourite. And who could have imagined that? And it's just about unlocking something in the player's mind and being more open and receptive to other things. He's been extremely open. His work rate all the time to learn is fantastic. And now I think it's paying off. He added, with the role he has, it's given him a lot of license to move forward. The quality of the finishing was outstanding. The technique was really good. And he's going to enjoy that for some time. It was his right foot. His swinger never scored for Arsenal with his right foot. We know he has had a difficult time at the club, and but that's in the past, and he's doing well. But he is really important in the side for Arsenal's success. We saw tonight he knows exactly when to go forward and gamble a little bit. He's just waiting for that opportunity. He's sitting there I'm going to go a little bit more advanced here. We've got plenty of bodies behind me, and I'll just wait in acres of space. If they are successful and win trophies, he will get another contract. Listen, I have to agree with Keown. I think Granit Xhaka is a player that I've criticised a lot. Granit Xhaka is a player that I've said a lot about. I've not been impressed with him in the past. But this season, I definitely think that Mikel Arteta deserves praise for letting Granit Xhaka advance a lot more forward, not relying on Granit Xhaka to be the main guy defensively. Of course, he does drop back. It doesn't mean that he hasn't got any responsibilities in terms of getting back and helping the defense, but he's able to express himself going forward. And I'd rather. I mean, Granit Xhaka does sometimes still lose the ball, but his overall game has improved a lot. And when he loses the ball, I'd much rather Granit Xhaka lose the ball in the final third than him lose the ball right next to our defense. So I think Granit Xhaka has definitely been affecting our game going forward. He's finding Saka and our wingers a lot more regularly. I think he's doing a lot more. He's doing a lot more positives than negatives. Obviously, his game is not perfect, but he's definitely improved a hell of a lot, and is up there with the top two best players for Arsenal so far this season. You can't take it away from him. Listen, I'll give praise when praise is due. Granit Xhaka has been fantastic for Arsenal this season. Yes, he was part of the rest of the team that played badly against Leeds. That's probably the only bad game that Granit Xhaka's had so far this season for Arsenal. And long may it continue. Long may it continue. And this is what I mean when I say Players can change my mind, but they need to be consistent. You know, Granit Xhaka has been consistent this season. He hasn't put a foot wrong. And this new role that he's got, I think you have to give props to Granit Xhaka, and you have to give props to the manager for identifying that Granit Xhaka is a lot more useful in the way that we play, and we can get the most out of Granit Xhaka with him going forward. You know, a lot of times I praise managers like Conte that get the most out of certain players. For example, at Tottenham, I think defensively, when you look at, you know, just as an example, Conte went to Tottenham. I know they got pammed the other day. He saw that individually, the individual defenders at Tottenham are crap, barring Romero, but even he got spun the other day. But he's the only one that's any decent. You know, he's made a formation that gets the best out of that defense and kind of covers the deficiencies. You know, playing 5 at the back. So at the end of the day, a good manager is going to do that. And if Mikel Arteta has done that, I'm going to praise him, and he has done that in the form of Granit Xhaka. He's getting the most out of him, gotten him in a position where he can advance forward, and we can see the best of Granit Xhaka, and, you know, hiding his deficiencies within the squad and within the formation. So I'm happy for Granit Xhaka. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Arteta, and I'm glad that, you know, he is he's kind of shutting up the critics at the moment. Now, Granit Xhaka's got to keep this up till the end of the season. You know, he's done very good up until this point. Like Gabriel Jesus, he's been, you know, performing almost every game, and long may it continue. Granit Xhaka, for me, if he continues this, then I'll change my mind about him like I did against Ramsdale. But I need to see this consistently till the end of the season. I'll give him praise, but I need to see it to the end of the season before I say, you know what, Granit Xhaka is a changed player. I have no issue with giving praise to players that I criticize. I criticize them for a reason. I see something in their game. I see some, you know, a lack of discipline, a lack of concentration, and I'll call it out. But if they turn it around and if they perform, I'll also praise them. You know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, you play well, I'll give you praise. You play badly, then I'll criticize. It is what it is. But Granit Xhaka, I agree with Martin Keown, has definitely turned things round for himself, and he should be proud of himself. The next headline: Arsenal's long-term target is now eyeing a move to Liverpool. Zaha is being linked with a move to Liverpool. Obviously, Jota is not going to be able to, sadly, not going to be able to perform for Liverpool nor Portugal. He's going to miss the World Cup. Obviously, sad for me, sad for my national team. Everybody that watches the show regularly already know I am a Portugueser. So it is what it is, man. Jota is going to be a miss. Do I feel like Liverpool are going to go in for Zaha? No, I don't see it, especially with the amount of money that Crystal Palace are going to want for Zaha. I just feel like Arsenal, this is a good player for Arsenal to go for. I rate Zaha. I think he's a big fish in a small pond, with all due respect to Crystal Palace. The way that Patrick Vieira's got them oozing and playing, Crystal Palace has been sourcing. When you look at the money that they spend and the way that they're playing, I've got nothing but, you know, there's a couple ballers at Crystal Palace that I'll take. I'll take Olise, I'll take Eze, and I'll definitely take Zaha. Those are the 3 players I'll definitely take from Crystal Palace. If I could only pick one, I would like Eze, but I definitely go for Zaha. He's somebody that, like I said, when I was talking about Endrick, the Brazilian winger from Palmeiras being linked to Arsenal, I'd rather Zaha. I mean, they're probably going to ask there or thereabouts for £62 million. And I'd rather Zaha, and I'll tell you why. If you're in a title race in January, you need players that are going to add and will be able to perform straight away. And Zaha is one of those players that he doesn't need an adaptation period. He's in his prime years. Why not go and get him? Why not go and get him? You know what I mean? I definitely feel like Zaha, he's got it all. You know, he can finish, technically gifted, he's got pace, he's got it all, and continuously performs in the Premier League every year. You know what I mean? Even when he was the main man over there at Crystal Palace, my guy was still performing. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like he's got the experience, he's got the know-how, he knows how to win a game, he knows how to perform. Obviously, Unai Emery also wanted him instead of Zaha. Now we can see that Unai Emery was right in wanting Zaha over Pepe. And listen, if we bring in Zaha in January and then we bring back Pepe from loan, that's good rotation. Or let's say you don't bring Pepe back. Let's just say, for argument's sake, because I know Pepe divides opinion in the Arsenal fan base. Let's say you got Zaha and you got Marquinhos. That's decent rotation. You know what I mean? To be fair, Zaha may even be a starter for Arsenal. You know what I mean? Have flipping have Saka and Zaha playing on the wings and Martinelli rotate, well, however you want to do it. But no matter how you dice it, how you cut it, it's regardless if he's coming off the bench to affect the game or he's starting the game. Zaha gives Arsenal an extra bite. You know what I mean? He's a direct winger. He knows how to score goals. He's definitely going to perform and hit the ball rolling. He's performing well at Crystal Palace with all due respect, inferior players in terms of a squad. You know, he can do a job for Arsenal. I definitely want to see Zaha at Arsenal, and I don't want us to wait. You know, if he is a player that we're looking at, we need to go straight in for him because, you know, Liverpool could look at him. I don't think they'll go for him, but they could look at him. And if they look at him, Arsenal are not the type of club that's going to get in a bidding war for a player. That's not how we roll. That's not how normally we get players over the line. We don't get ourselves into bidding war. So if we're not going to get in a bidding war, we need to identify the players that we want to strengthen in January. Make sure we're already talking and getting a gist for what the player and the agent wants, what the club will be happy to accept, and then just go in for him and not wait for our rivals to look at some of our targets because we're dragging our feet on the deal. So Zaha's 100% a player that I want at Arsenal. He's definitely a player that I'd love to see at Arsenal. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I definitely feel like, you know, the fact that, you know, they've got Patrick Vieira there. Maybe we can have a word with Patrick Vieira and just tell him, listen, we will give you decent money for him. Is he available? You know, and see if we can do a deal. But Zaha being linked to Liverpool, should Arsenal go in for him instead? Manchester City and Arsenal among a host of clubs interested in Celtic star. Another youngster. Vata is a Republic of Ireland youth international who has been impressive during his time with Celtic B team. The 17-year-old was involved in the first team during pre-season training camp in Austria, but is yet to feature for the side in a competitive game. The youngster is under contract at Celtic until 2024, but he's now attracting interest with some of the biggest clubs around Europe. For me, nah, not the kind of signing I want in January. Just it's a no from me. He's too young, 17 years old. Like I said, I want us to be adding experienced winners into this squad in January, and we need some experience. We need players that are going to come and, you know, set an example on the pitch. Now, this kid might have a high ceiling. I've never seen him play. I'll be real. It's the first I'm hearing from him, but it's a no from me. Personally, I think we could do a lot better, and I think there's other areas of the pitch that we need to go out and strengthen. I just don't feel like 16 and 17-year-olds adding to this team. With youngsters, we already know they add, you know, their form goes up and down. They're going to be inconsistent. We need players that are going to be consistent and get us over the line. We need to learn from last season that we can't just be relying on youngsters, that we need a blend of youngsters and experience at this club. And for me, nah, I'd give that a miss, in my opinion. This headline, Arsenal and Roma leading the race to sign young winger. Mudryk, this rumour will not go away. It just won't go away. Arsenal and Roma are reportedly leading the race to sign Shakhtar Donetsk winger Mudryk. So now Roma is entering the competition now, or the race, should I say, to sign Mudryk. To me, I still think that we're more attractive. We can offer more in wages. Yes, obviously, Roma did win the Europa Conference League with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, it is Jose Mourinho at Roma. That might be a draw. He might be, you know, drawn into that. But I just feel like I don't really see this kid going to Roma over Arsenal. Listen, he's been performing for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's obviously highly rated. I've actually seen him in some of the highlights, and from what I've seen of him, he does look like a tidy player. I think the prices, I don't understand why every player these days, every winger, every midfielder, as soon as you're young and you're linked to one of the big teams, you're already 50, 60, 70 million pounds. And it's like, I don't understand where teams are getting these prices, because it's like, these men ain't proven yet. They ain't really done anything in the game of football. So I don't understand why every player these days, as long as you're young, you know what I mean, you're already 50, 60 mil. Like, it just shows, either it shows a lack of quality in the market, or the fact that, you know, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why every player is 50, 60 mil, personally. I don't understand why every player is 50, 60 mil. for the amount of money that it would take to get him over the line, I'd rather just go for Zaha. This could end up to be, you know, an Alexis Sanchez buy, whereas a player that was a bit under the radar, wasn't, you know, the highest touted around Europe. Not every big club was after him, and he turns into a star like Alexis Sanchez. Or it can be another Pepe where the guy's ripping it up in the lower league, comes to the Premier League and doesn't really cut it at the best league in the world. You know, it can go either way. I'd rather go for the safer option and go for Zaha and not miss out on him. But that's just my opinion. Do any of you guys want to see Mudryk at Arsenal? Let me know, caramba. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, caramba. You know what I mean? I'm done with work, man. So done with work. But yeah, let me know, people. Let me know. What's this here? Kevin Campbell expects Arsenal man to leave because of regular playing time. Sambi Lokonga. Kevin Campbell saying that he's expecting Sambi Lokonga to leave. He told the Football Insider he may look to leave. The key to everything is the fit. If Sambi Lokonga wants to start, then he has to leave Arsenal because he's not starting right now. He's a young player though. So right now, it is about being a valued member of the squad and improving. Listen, once again, he's another player against PSV that didn't really, you know, cover himself in glory. I just feel like he didn't really offer much. You know, I don't think he was trash. I don't think Sambi Lokonga was trash, but he wasn't really offering much. And I was quite disappointed with Sambi Lokonga once again. I just don't feel like he offers enough. You know what I mean? I really don't feel like he does enough. I feel like a lot of times he goes hiding. He goes under the radar. You can't really tell me what he does well. Is he a great tackler? I don't think so. Is he great at passing the ball? I don't think so. Is he? I don't really see what he really does. I think he's another player like Davaj that needs to go out on loan, learn his trade out on loan, get a bit more experience before he can start cutting it and challenging for a starting position at Arsenal. I just feel like he's not good enough at the moment, and we should be getting him out on loan. He's not the only one. But I definitely agree with Kevin Campbell. I just don't see when everyone is fully fit. I just don't see where Sambi Lokonga gets minutes. You know, I just don't see it. I don't see when Elneny is fully fit where Sambi Lokonga is going to get the minutes. I think he's been lucky this season. You know, he's been fortunate to get a lot of, you know, with early injuries to Partey and Elneny. You know, he got gifted quite a few minutes. A few more minutes than I expected Lokonga to be getting. And I don't really feel like he's taken that opportunity by the scruff of the neck. He's not the only one. I think Reece Nelson hasn't taken his opportunities by the scruff of the neck. I don't think Nketiah has taken his opportunities by the scruff of the neck. I don't even think Fabio Vieira has either. I know a lot of people were telling me yesterday, oh, no, sir, you're waffling, you're talking absolute pucaria. I went back, watched the highlights. I mean, I watched the game, and then I watched back and watched the highlights. And I was like, did I miss anything? And I think Fabio Vieira made one or two chances. Not enough for me. Not enough to say that he had a great game. You know, it wasn't good enough for me, in my opinion. But listen, that's what life's about. Life's about opinions. Everyone's got their own opinion. Everyone sees the game differently. I didn't feel like I was seeing enough from him, but I also didn't feel like I saw enough by Lokonga. I think Lokonga had a decent game against PSV, only because PSV wasn't bringing anything to the table. Let's be real. PSV wasn't doing anything that game. It was a comfortable watch, but a frustrating watch. We had all the possession. We had all the chances. PSV didn't offer anything. Even at half-time at 0-0, you're thinking second half, they're probably going to come at us. They never really did. They never did anything. Gakpo was kept quiet. So, you know, Sambi Lokonga he looked decent because he was never really challenged. He was never really pressed. He wasn't overrunning the midfield. You know what I mean? So it was quite a comfortable game for him, but it weren't amazing. And you know, it is what it is, really. I think he just needs to go out on loan in January, and we need to strengthen. But we can only let him go out on loan if we actually get somebody in that's of the level in his possession, because we can't just let him go and then have no replacement there, especially in the midfield, because we are pretty light in the midfield as it is, for quality and for personnel. Let's get into this headline here. Mikel Arteta says he wants to give Cedric Soares more game time at Arsenal. Now, Cedric, obviously, we've seen Ben White and Tomiyasu keeping this guy out of his position. I think that's quite embarrassing, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, how are two centre-backs outperforming you? I think that's quite damning. You know, you're a right-back. and two centre backs are outperforming you. I never thought that Cedric was trash. I just think he's average. But we have to admit this season Ben White has played. He's played decent. He played decent at right back. I can't lie. As much as I don't rate the guy, he has done well at right back. Overall, he has done well. Ben White, even with his deficiencies. Tomiyasu yesterday against PSV played very, very well at right back. I was very comfortable with Tomiyasu playing right back, and he kept Gakpo at bay. So it just goes to show, the competition and the level that he'd have to step up once he gets his minutes. But let's go down to see what they quoted. What Mikel said. Here is what he said. He's now fit and he's a player who deserves to play. I want to give him minutes because he deserves that. And yeah, listen, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, even when fit, Cedric has been average at best for Arsenal. I don't think he's been amazing, in my opinion. And I just feel like Tomiyasu's really performing really, really well at that position, to the point where I want Tomiyasu to start right back going into the Southampton game, because I feel like he's playing really well. I mean, I understand why a lot of people want to see Ben White starting there, but I feel like, Ben White is a little bit slower. I think Tomiyasu won't be as exposed as Ben White. I think he's a bit faster on and off the ball. And I'd rather Tomiyasu. I think he had a complete performance yesterday against PSV and one of our best players yesterday on the pitch. I think Tomiyasu was excellent yesterday playing right back. So I'd rather Tomiyasu. Cedric's got to fight for his place. Maybe that will force Cedric for us to get the most out of Cedric. The fact that, Tomiyasu's playing very well in that position. Ben White is playing very well in that position. He has to step up. There's no room for error. There's two players that are ahead of him at the moment that are playing very, very well, and both have arguments as to be starting in that right back position. So we will see. We will see when Arteta will put Cedric in. I don't really see him. He's not really match fit. I don't really see him playing against Southampton when Tomiyasu's in great form and Ben White is in great form. I see them still ahead of him in a pecking order. But you never know. Who would you like to see against Southampton playing right back? Cedric, Tomiyasu, or Ben White? Leave it in the comments down below, people. Leave it in the comments down below. I'm going to get into the next headline. Southampton suffer a huge injury blow ahead of Arsenal Premier League clash. We've got here, Southampton have suffered a major injury blow ahead of Arsenal's visit to St. Mary's on Sunday. Saints defender Kyle Walker-Peters will miss the clash with the Gunners due to a hamstring injury. We also got Ainsley Maitland-Niles is out of that game as well, because he's out on loan from Arsenal. He's not able to face us as he's out on loan at Southampton. So they're going to be we're going to face Southampton without Ainsley Maitland-Niles, also without Kyle Walker-Peters. But even with them in the team, I'm expecting us to, they're out of the game, but even if they were in the game, I'm still expecting 3 points against Southampton. I'm expecting us to pepper Southampton. I think they're a team that can get got at. We haven't got the greatest record against Southampton in the past, but at the end of the day, if we are serious about continuing this title charge, we need to be beating teams like Southampton. And to be fair to Arsenal, this season, Arsenal, we have been getting the win, getting the W, getting the 3 points against teams that we're supposed to be beating. So I'm expecting that going into Southampton. I'm expecting us to beat them and beat them comfortably. Obviously, it's a miss for them, but I still feel like we can get the win. I mean, Che Adams scored the other day for them. We have to keep him silent. We need to make sure that we don't allow them to spam crosses in the box to Che Adams. We don't allow him space, and he's, for me, going to be probably one of their main threats. And it is what it is. Kyle Walker-Peters, with or without them, I still expect Arsenal to get the job done and get the win. So yeah, people, that is the news. That is the news surrounding Arsenal. Well, that's the news I saw about surrounding Arsenal Football Club. I'm going to get in some of the comments, see what you lot are saying, see how you lot are feeling. What's this here? Big up Northside and the chat. Big up, bro. Big up to you. Big up Northside and everyone. Big up, bro. Hi. Big up NS Sports. Big up to you, bro. Yo, afternoon, everyone. Evening. Big up, bro. Big up, big up, big up. Hello, Northside. What you doing, bro? Yo, what are you saying? You good? Vamos irmão e Tropa Elite. Everybody, you already know what time it is, man. Big up to the Tropa Elite, man. Arteta needs to stop going for injury-prone players. Neto, good, but why get someone as backup for Saka if they're going to be injured too? Yeah, we need some starters, man. We need to add some experienced starters to help and assist these guys. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's no doubt that we've got talented youngsters, but they need help. And I think last season with 10 games to go, they needed a Zaha to show them the way. They needed somebody like, a proper, just some more experience. The midfield, we knew we went into this season's transfer window, knowing that we needed to address the midfield, not just the wingers, the midfield as well. We need some experience. We've already got ESR as a youngster. We've got Saka as a youngster, Martinelli. We've already got Nketiah as a youngster. We already got Odegaard, Fabi Vieira. We need some experience. We can't just fill out this whole squad, starting 11 and the bench just with youngsters. We're gonna fall short every time because they need, to the crunch. When we get to the crunch end of the season, you got to grind up results, and a lot of times you need your experienced players to guide those players. So that's how I feel about it anyway. Saka should be kamikaze, tackle someone, red card, and off 3-5 games. The only way man can get some rest. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It is mad. What's this? Lee Gunner should take you on Terry's show. Listen, I'm up for it. Hey, Northside, big up to you, Static, bro. Big up. Hello, Northside and chat room. Big up to everyone that's locked in right now. Chike Decore is one from Palace. Yeah, he's decent as well. Obviously, you can't rate them for the whole squad, unless you want to play really, over the odds for some of their players. For me, Olise, Eze, and Zaha are the main three that I would love at Arsenal. But Decore, yeah, I wouldn't mind him at Arsenal. Tavad, Sambi were projects last summer. Marquinhos this summer. No projects in Jan. Only players who potentially start for Arsenal. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And if you get Ivan Toney, yeah, he's definitely competing with Gabriel Jesus. If you get a Zaha, he's definitely competing. You know what I mean? If you go get Paulinho, like Paulinho's gone over to Fulham, he's played excellently. Go and get him. I want Paulinho. Do you know what I mean? Because we definitely need an upgrade on Anani. So go and get him. This is what I want to see. Go and get a Rafael Leao at AC Milan. I don't care. Go and do it. We need to add proper quality, not just these rotation players. We're linked to Ruben Neves in January. Listen, that is another one like Tielemans that just keeps going round and round and round and round and round. And I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing of Neves and Tielemans, man. These guys always getting linked to Arsenal. It's just getting boring. Like, I've seen the links too, bro, but it's just getting boring now. Like, are we actually going in for him or not? You know what? I just can't even be bothered to touch on it unless like something substantial around those players, some substantial news around those players start, coming out. Then it is what it is. Like, I just can't really be bothered with it. That's what I needed, man. Thank you, God. It is Friday, man. Porra. You know what I mean? I can't be bothered with work. It's long, man. How are you lot's week going though? Like I feel cool. I feel chilled. I feel calm. I feel happy. Arsenal won yesterday. No work tomorrow. Well, actually, I'm working tomorrow, but it is what it is. The weekend's here. We're going into the Southampton game in good form, even though we're not playing scintillating football. I feel calm, man. How are you lot feeling? How are you lot feeling going into the Southampton game? I want to know. Any news on Danilo? I haven't seen any news on Danilo, bro. I haven't. But I will check quickly. Hello there. Big up, Gracie. Big up to you. Man, where's that Spurs fan that was running his mouth the other day? Listen, we will be doing the rival show this week, hopefully. So yeah, Deji, you will be able to get at him. Don't worry. In the rival show, you'll be able to start grilling him. But right now, he ain't answering my WhatsApp messages, so it's mad right now. He's ducking me. He is ducking me right now. We should have got Max Aarons. Never did see the point of getting Cedric. Yeah, Cedric. This is what I'm saying. He's one of them players that fit that whole narrative of he can do a job. He can do a job, but he's not great, is he? You know, you can't be that great when you're a fullback and the centre backs are taking your place. Like, You know, it's a bit embarrassing. But I know he was injured, but they're already performing better than him. You know what I mean? It's mad. Irman, there's a player from Atlanta United, MLS, called Thiago Almada, 21, just recently got called by the Argentina. He's like a Cam. Surely this season he'll get a move to Europe. Listen, I've seen that guy. He on FIFA, he's got good stats. I played FIFA career mode a lot. I can't really lie. I love FIFA career mode. At the moment, I'm doing a career mode with AC Monza that just come up from the Serie A. So yeah, man, I'm having a good time with that. But yeah, I've seen this guy. His stats look good. Never seen him in real life. And obviously FIFA's a game, obviously. But his stats on FIFA look good. So I have heard of this guy. I did see that he moved to Atlanta United. Listen, it is what it is, man. Maybe you can do something. I mean, Almiron went to Newcastle. He's from he came from the MLS. You know what I mean? And he's now starting to do bits for Newcastle. Scored the other day. You know what I mean? Top goal, bro. Like top bins. You know what I mean? So listen, the MLS is not becoming just a retirement home. There's some good talent coming out of the MLS now. They're developing some good players. They're buying some good young players. Even the Barcelona player. What's that player? I forgot his name now. He's gone over to the MLS. He wasn't getting enough game time at Barcelona. He's gone to the MLS. So listen, there's players that are definitely going to the MLS. There's definitely some talent in the MLS, you know, and it is what it is. I mean, it's a big ask. I mean, it's just as risky as getting some of these youngsters from the Brazilian league. You know, the step up in the league is high. You know what I mean? They're coming up about, 10, 11 divisions in terms of quality of league to come to the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. If you think he's decent, cool. I haven't seen enough of him to really big him up and say, oh yeah, Almada is definitely a player we need to go for. But fair enough. Maybe you've seen something in him and you've seen enough of him to see that he's outgrown that league. It is what it is. If it's Danilo Pereira, I saw the press conference from PSG's manager, said Danilo will be back in 10 days. There you go. What else are you lot saying? He's 21, 22. He's a good player. I don't know who you're on about. Check him out. He's meant to be the new Kante. Who are you on about, bro? I can't really see. If Danilo dos Santos. Oh, Danilo dos Santos. We'll see, man. We'll see. Who's the guy in the thumbnail? That guy in the thumbnail is what's his name? Endrick. He's a Brazilian winger. That's got, I think he got 6 goal involvements in 9 appearances in the Brazilian league. He's 16 years old, and yeah, it's this guy here. Hold on, let me get him up. It's this guy here. If you just tuned in, it's this guy here. He's a winger, 16 years old, plays for Palmeiras, but he's being apparently he's 62 million pounds. That's how much they are asking for him. But listen, at the end of the day, we've seen teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona go in for these youngsters, these Brazilian youngsters, and they always got a high price tag. You know, Vinicius Jr., you know, he's now stepping up. But I remember Benzema was calling him up and saying, yo, you're not doing well enough, Vinicius. I think it was a season or 2 ago. Vinicius was losing the ball. Benzema called him out and said, listen, you're losing the ball. Your head's not in the game. You're not involved in the game properly. You're not doing what is required, this and that. And now he stepped up. He stepped up now. You know what I'm saying? And he's not the only Brazilian that stepped up. The Rodrigo as well is another winger, Brazilian winger that came from the Brazilian league at Real Madrid. And he's stepping up this season, chipping in with goals, performing in Europe. So listen, a lot of these Brazilian Wonderkids, a few of them do make it. You know, there's obviously been some guys that have been a flop. You know, I remember Alexandre Pato. He was decent, got an injury, and then never really recovered. You know what I mean? There was a season where he was unplayable. I remember when he was at AC Milan, and then it kind of just all fell, like it all went downwards. You know what I mean? In a downward spiral. So it's risky. You bring these Brazilian kids, some of them don't live up to the hype. Some of them do live up to the hype. Some of them, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Lucas Moura came from the Brazilian league with a big reputation, you know, and he ain't really been that great, has he, for Tottenham? So it is what it is, man. It's always a risk. I think at 16 is a bit too premature, but everyone's looking for that next Neymar, that next big thing. And yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Irman, the camera is lagging a bit. Listen, I've actually put down the quality of the video so that my internet can keep up. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I need to call them up because I can see it lagging for me as well, but there's nothing I can do. I've put on my camera, I put the video quality down a bit so it's not asking for as much internet, and it's still not working. You know what I mean? Who am I with? I think I'm with Virgin. I don't know what they're doing, but it's like they slowed down my internet all of a sudden. I need to call them up. I really need to call them up. I need to call them up tomorrow, to be fair. But yeah, that's the guy that's in the thumbnail, Endrick, anyway. Now a lot of young talent from South American leagues choose to join the MLS than Europe, like Almiron. Exactly what I said. Exactly, bro. I agree. Jesus showed some good signs. Martinelli always brings it, and Saka has been good last 4 matches. Quick start, quiet the fans, and get out with 3 points. Against, it is what it is. That's it, Nicky Pog. Yeah, is it Nicky Pog? Nicky Pog? I don't know how to say that name, bro. I don't know. Okay, puta que pariu. I don't know how to say some of these man's names. But yeah, Ricky Pog, like he couldn't get no game time at Barca. He's gone to the MLS. I think he went to LA Galaxy. So there you go. You know what I mean? A lot of young players with high potential are going to the MLS these days. Hello Northside, big up to you. Thank you for tuning in. Almada I've watched in real life against my hometown team. Solid technically and is worth a shout, to be honest. Fair enough. If you think he's worth a shout, fair enough, man. I haven't seen him playing in real life, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's the news. That's most of the news that I've seen so far. Would you guys take Zaha? You know, we keep getting linked with Zaha. Would you pay the money? I mean, I don't know how long he's got on his contract. Let me see if I can check Zaha. Let's see if I can check how long he's got on his contract. Because obviously, if he's only got 2 years or a year left, then obviously we can get him at a cut price. We might not even need to spend 60 odd million pounds on him. And we can get him at a cut price. Let's see here. Zaha. Why is my internet lagging, man? I need to call these man up, bruv. Zaha's already 29. Flipping out, how time goes by, man. I remember when he flopped at Man United. I think that move to Man United just came too premature. You know what I mean? Like, it just came too early. It's mad. It's mad. Hold on. Let me see if it's going to show me his contract. Or do I need to go into... contract expires 2023. Right, so he's got a year left. If Zaha's got a year left, we should be able to get him at least half price, at least 30 mil. You know what I mean? Because they're either going to accept that, or risk losing Zaha on a free. And the club like Crystal Palace, all due respect to them, they can't afford to let a Zaha go and leave on a free. They need that money. They need that piece. You know what I mean? Transfermarkt's got him valued. Let me get him up. Transfermarkt has got him valued at 38 million euros. 29 years old. I mean, contract expiring in 2023. I mean, he's got a year left. You know, we should be able to get him for at least 30 mil. I'd say 30 mil gets the deal over the line. I think Zaha knows it will be his last big move. Of course, he's going to want, you know, I mean, they are paying him good wages. I can't remember how much it was, but I'm sure he's on way over 100k a week. We can match. We can do a lot. You know, we can offer him some good wages, and yeah, it's his last payday. So why not come to Arsenal? This season he's had 9 appearances. He's had 5 goals, 1 assist. You know, but he's playing for Crystal Palace. So I would take him. This is definitely the type of player that will 100% January come in and be able to affect the team and give us, you know, really, really good performances and keep us in a title race. That's how I see it. So I don't see why not to go for Zaha. Let me see Rafael Leão. Because that's definitely a striker that I'd love to see at Arsenal. Let's see how long he's got on his contract. And what his stats are this season. Because a lot, obviously, Ivan Toney and Mitrovic and all them players that. How is it? Let me just put Leão. Let me just see if it'll come up. If I just put Leão. Oh man. It's mad. There we go. Rafael Leao, AC Milan. Can play as a winger and a forward, 23 years old. Definitely a player I would like to see at Arsenal. But his market value is 70 million euros. P&L, 70 million euros. Puta que pariu. You're definitely going to have to spend a lot of money on him. Contract expires in 2024. So he's only got 2 years left. Can play left winger and can play centre forward. He's got 4 goals and 5 assists in 9 matches. So, there you go. He's got nine goal contributions in 9 appearances in the Serie A for AC Milan. Obviously won the league last season. Champions League, he's got 4 appearances, 3 assists. He's doing very, very well. And this is why his value skyrocketed to 70 million euros. The guy is definitely talented. I'd love to see him come into Arsenal. I think we definitely need an upgrade on Nketiah. We see that Nketiah is just not good enough. He's not good enough for Arsenal. He's not good enough if Gabriel is out. He's not good enough to fill that void. So why not go for Rafael Leao? He can play that false 9 position. Technically very good. Quick player. Can assist and score. So he can do everything that Gabriel Jesus can do. Obviously he's not proven in the Prem. But if we can't get Ivan Toney, why not go and get Rafael Leao? I'd first go for Ivan Toney because I feel like Ivan Toney in January. If you get Ivan Toney and you get Zaha, those are 2 players that can hit the ground running, can perform for us straight away, and we can sustain this form. Of course, you need some more players, but these are players that can perform for Arsenal straight away. And then, if you're a lot more comfortable as a fan and a club if Saka's not performing, or Martinelli's not performing, and if Gabriel Jesus is not performing, you've got players on the bench that can give the starting 11 players a run for their money. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see a whole team full of Marquinhos that is one for the future, but ain't really good enough, to perform at the top level right now. So that's what I'm saying. What time you getting? Sorry, people, to the station. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm in a good mood anyway. I'm in a good mood today. A lot of these rumors, take it with a pinch of salt, because that's what they are, rumors. We don't really know who's coming to Arsenal, who's not. Let me see if there's any more rumors that's just come out. Let's check this down. Let me get to this now. Let's see if there's any more rumors surrounding Arsenal Football Club. I mean, we never felt to have to be linked to every player under the sun to Arsenal. Are these players getting over the line? I don't know. I'll take it all with a pinch of salt. But we definitely need to do a lot of business. We definitely need to be doing a lot of business. What's this? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Has this actually been announced? I think it has been. Apparently, according to One Football, let me get this up. Right, according to One Football, Gabriel signs new long-term Arsenal contract. Arsenal have announced that the defender Gabriel has penned the extension with the club. Arsenal put out committed. We are delighted to announce Gabriel has signed a new long-term deal with us. There he is there with Edu and Arteta. The 24-year-old previous deal had yet to be expired in the summer of 2025, but as club custom, Arsenal have not announced the length of the extension, only that it's a long-term deal. Gabby has shown huge quality since he joined us. He is a young player with great work ethic, and his consistent, strong performances have been hugely important to us over the past 2 seasons, Mikel said on the club's website. Working with Gabby every day is a pleasure. He has formed strong relationships with everyone at the club, and we're so pleased that he has committed to us on a long-term contract. Yeah, there he is there. I mean, this is good news. Let's be real. This is very good news. But we need to sign on Martinelli and Saka. They're players that need to be extended as well. So it's a good start, but let's not stop there. Let's go and get the rest done. Let's Let's go and extend the rest of the players. Gabriel is a player that I feel needs to improve his concentration. He needs to improve his positioning and the way he's been defending, and stop with the lapses of concentration and handballing the ball and stuff. But there is potential in him, but unless he starts upping his game, at the end of the day, you need, I've said this before, when we gave the extension to Nketiah, has he rewarded us back? We rewarded Eddie Nketiah, somebody that I didn't think was worth extending his contract. Has he rewarded us back? I wouldn't say that he has, Karamba. You know what I mean? He hasn't scored any goals. Has he rewarded us? Has he given back to the club the fact that we give him number 14, 100K a week? I hope it's a different story with Gabriel. We already know what we get from Saka and Martinelli. That goes without saying. They need to extend. We already know that they're one of the best players at the club. But, Gabriel extends. For me, if he continues making mistakes till January, I do think we need another centre-back. Because after Gabriel, the rest of them aren't really up to par. It is what it is. I mean, it really depends. If Ben White's playing right-back, he can't play right-back and play centre-back. And I kind of didn't think I'd be saying this, but I kind of prefer Ben White as a right-back than a centre-back. Even though I still think he's going to get exposed in the duration of the season as playing as a centre-back. Playing as a right-back to a centre-back. And Tomiyasu seems like he's performing really well as a right-back. So, I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Rob Holding ain't good enough, if Gabriel doesn't keep performing. Rob Holding isn't good enough to be the main partner for Saliba. So, it is what it is, man. Hopefully this contract, lights a fire under him and he goes on to improve the weaknesses in his game. That's what I needed. But yeah, that's the latest news I've seen. Gabriel extending his contract. Let's see if there's anything else. What's this here? No, I'm not really seeing anything else, really. Predicted lineup for the Southampton game. Let's see if we get into that. They put a lineup. But yeah. What's this? It's the way they've done this lineup. I don't really get the way they've done this lineup. Yeah, just leave that. Anyway, let me get into some of you lot's comments anyway. Let me see what you lot are saying. What's this here? We'll go to this one first. Northside, big up, bro. Hope you and the family are well, bro. Big up to you, familia. I'm good, bro. I hope you're good too. I'm calm. I hope you guys are good. It gets so dark these days in London, man. Winter has come. Like it's flipping Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Zaha or Trossard in man. I'd rather Zaha. Trossard is not bad, but I think we could do better than Trossard. I think Zaha would be better, man. I'd rather go for Zaha. He's a better baller, and I think he's a better finisher. But I think Trossard's been doing decently as well at Brighton. I mean, I think he's a little bit slept on. I think Trossard is a baller. Zaha is a moodier version of Gabriel. Zaha will be tested. Will he be able to handle it? Listen, I think so, bro. If he's not able to handle it at 29, then when will he be? You know what I mean? I think he's worth a shot at. I don't think anyone, I think, rivals are always going to probably trash talk us getting a Zaha because they will take a Zaha, whether he's a starter or on the bench. Any top 16 will take Zaha. The problem with Zaha along the last couple of years has not been the quality. It's been about the amount of money that Crystal Palace have been demanding for Zaha because he's always been obviously tied down with the contract. But it's never been the lack of quality. A lot of times, I think, when we got Pepe, Zaha, I think he was tied for the same amount, I think 70 odd. So he would have cost, the same amount of money as Pepe. And I think a lot of clubs weren't willing to meet that valuation. Meet Crystal Palace's evaluation. But I think if Zaha a couple of seasons ago was valued at 30, 40, 40 mil, even dare I say 50, you know what I mean? I think a lot of clubs would have taken a punt on Zaha. It's just a lot of clubs didn't want to pay 70 mil. They didn't think he was worth it. But I'll take him, man. He's a baller, bro. You know what I mean? My guy, I've seen him take on 3-4 players, create his own space, create his own chance, and then slap it top bins. You know what I mean? He's a very good winger. Very good winger. Trossard is younger. I think I get him, but I just care who's better. You know what I mean? Like Zaha's the better player. Okay, like Zaha, it's only 2 years difference. You know what I mean? It's not that much more. You know, that much younger. Trossard, I think, is 27. Zaha is 29. So, you know, I just gotta get Zaha, man. Like, we already missed out on him when we got Pepe. Like, you know, it is what it is. Max, 20 mil max in January for Zaha, but I'd rather take Anderson, the centre back. Listen, I think 20 mil is a bit too low. I think 30 mil, I think will definitely get the play over the line. Maybe 20 mil plus add-ons, maybe. You know what I mean? And push it, the add-ons push it to 26, 27. Maybe like that, Crystal Palace will take it. I think I get why you're putting 20 mil, but I don't see Crystal Palace accepting 20 mil. You know what I mean? For 20 mil, I think they'll just let him go for free. You know what I mean? Like, and try and see, like, you know, buy their time and see that if he'll sign, you know, another contract, if they can convince him. But I don't personally see, I mean, I don't know. I don't personally see Crystal Palace allowing him to go for 20 mil. I think that's a bit too low because he is a top player. You know what I mean? But maybe. I mean, at the end of the day, we need to negotiate, man. We need to negotiate. Will Zaha be okay sitting some games behind the youngsters? Listen, if he's outperforming them, then he starts. You know what I mean? It's not about, oh, you're a certain player, you can't be dropped from the Arsenal starting 11. If Martinelli ain't playing well, then he gets dropped. And at the end of the day, we're talking about the lack of quality on the bench to affect games. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, these players, they have to compete, and that's how you get the best out of them. You know, you have to fight for your place, and when you're fighting for your place, that means you're giving your all because you're fighting for it. You know that if you don't perform, the next man on the bench is ready to take your spot. This is how you're going to get the best out of Martinelli, out of Saka. I'm not saying that these guys ain't performing well, but this is how you're going to keep pushing them. This is how you're going to keep that hunger. You know what I mean? Keep them hungry, keep them performing. And when they're not playing well, you need someone that's going to fill in that can do as good, if not a better job. And Zaha is one of them. So I don't really care who is starting. I just care about the players giving 110%, and Arsenal, you know, putting themselves in the best position to be able to compete. You know, loads of teams stack, you know, their club with great players, you know, with a bench that could start or a bench that could be on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, players that can be on the bench or players that can start. You know, you look at the quality of them. You know, they don't care about, oh, it's gonna, you know, certain players are undroppable. Nah, you keep bringing in quality into the club, and the players that perform are starting. And until they drop in form, or until the other players on the bench, when they're given the opportunity, keep outshining them to the point where the manager can't ignore them, then it is what it is. You know, that's what we need to see. I think there's a lot of favours at Arsenal, and a lot of people don't want to get away from certain youngsters because they like those youngsters. But these youngsters need competition so we can get the best out of them. That's the reality of it. That's my opinion anyway. Northside, has Gabriel signed a new contract? Yeah, he has. It's been confirmed by Arsenal. He's signed an extension. We just don't know how long the extension is for. The winger I would love to have at Arsenal is Vinicius Jr. He's quality. He's definitely stepped up in the last couple of seasons. He definitely stepped up. You know what I mean? And Benzema, you know, he stuck it on him and he's brought the best out of Vinicius. I would love him at Arsenal, but let's be realistic. Why would he leave Real Madrid to come to Arsenal? You know what I mean? Normally, players, you know, if they can, stay their whole career at Real Madrid. It's not really a club that you don't go to Real Madrid and think, you know, the reason, you know, Ronaldo left is because Real Madrid, you know, looked at him and said he's surplus to requirements. We don't need you anymore. You know what I mean? But Ronaldo, I've always said that Ronaldo gave his best years to Real Madrid. He didn't give his best years to Man United. He gave his best years to Real Madrid. The guy, in his prime, went to Real Madrid and stayed there during the whole duration of his prime. When he left Real Madrid, he was already on you know, the downward spiral. You know what I mean? And if you still are, you know, top class like Mudryk and Benzema, they'll keep you. So players don't leave Real Madrid. Real Madrid let you go or sell you. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. When we got Ceballos, we saw really quickly why Real Madrid were so eager to sell him, because he ain't good enough. He's not to the Real Madrid standard. You know, Odegaard has been okay, but we can see that, you know, he's not to the Real Madrid standard. No matter how much people want to, you know, how many Arsenal fans want to over big up flipping Odegaard, he ain't good enough. Ultimately, he ain't good enough. Let's be real, he ain't good enough. You know what I mean? Not for Real Madrid. You know what I mean? And this is why I don't overly gas him up, because he ain't good enough for them. But yeah, Vinicius ain't leaving, man. Leão will sign a new contract soon, and man got a release clause of 150 mil, and he's not for sale. Listen, he hasn't signed the contract, has he? I haven't seen him that he's signed the contract, so we still got time to talk to him and turn his head. You know, we got time to turn his head. At the end of the day, we got to sell this project to him, you know, and try and go in for him. Like I said, they're going to want a lot of money. I think they're going to want minimum 70, 80 mil. But if we're serious, we go out and get him, you know. I'd rather go for Ivan Toney. I think it would be cheaper to get Ivan Toney over the line. And I think in January, it makes more sense going in for players of our rivals, or players in the league that are already, you know, performing really well at smaller teams that already know the Premier League and can perform for Arsenal straight away. You know, I don't think in January you should be getting players for, you know, that are for, you know, that are going to need to adapt like Fabi Vieira. You know what I mean? Those kind of players are not gonna push us forward. You know, they themselves are trying to find their feet in the league. So listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. 15 likes. What the hell's going on? Smash them likes up, Kadamba. Come on, people, man. Smash them likes up. Smash them likes up. Vinicius Jr., yeah, brilliant player, but they'll never let him go. Yeah, exactly. Facts, link so many, but never follow them up. This is what I'm talking about. Emery wanted Zaha. Kulusevski is clear. Arsenal need to sell Nketiah. Simply not good enough. Yeah, he's just not good enough, bro. And we already knew it. James Maddison to Spurs. Here we go. Is that an actual link? Is that what's been said? Because I'll take James Maddison at Arsenal. I can't lie. That my Mr. North London Derby show again. For F's sakes. No worries, bro. No worries. It is what it is, man. Leão is AC Milan forever. AC Milan is one of the best clubs for young prospects. Why would he leave? You know what I'm saying? You got to be trolling, bro. You got to be trolling. He's trolling. AC Milan is one of the best clubs for young prospects. Why would he leave? Well, at the end of the day, we can pay more in wages. And yeah, leave for the money. At the end of the day, he's already won the Scudetto. So if he's already won it, why not come to the Premier League? Maybe he wants another challenge. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. You know, players leave for different reasons. Maybe he wants more money. Maybe he wants another challenge. You know, these are two things that we can offer. You know, but I can also see why he stays with AC Milan. You know what I mean? You know, I can see why he wants to stay with AC Milan. You know what I mean? Champions League football. You know, just won the league. Got a squad that's able to win the league now because they already won it last season. You know, instead of coming here where, you know, the jury's still out if we can win the league. You know, we haven't won a league in ages. So I see it both ways, but at the end of the day, like, you know, we've seen players like Ozil come to Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? He could have stayed at Real Madrid, but he came to Arsenal. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What's this? You lot linked with Indika. For F's sake, I hope he comes to Spurs. We need him a lot more than you lot. Listen, I think we need to be rebuilding this partnership, because I think Saliba's, you know, he's top class. But I think Gabriel has got a lot to improve. And at the moment, you know, I know Cedric was injured, but we were playing Tomiyasu and Ben White as fullbacks. We need another centre-back that's as good as Saliba. Is Indika that guy? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if he is. But we need somebody else, man. And maybe he is the guy. I'm not too sure. But we need somebody else that's the same level as Saliba if we're going to shore up at the back. Because Rob Holding ain't good enough. Tomiyasu, I'm not too sure if he's good enough as a centre-back. He's playing very well as a right-back. Ben White, I don't want to see him as a centre-back. I saw enough last season. Don't think he's good enough as a centre-back. And Gabriel's always got a mistake in him. So, listen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Indika is class. Maybe he is. I've never seen him play. I keep seeing him. We got linked to him. I think it was 2 seasons ago. I saw us get linked to him. But then again, we get linked to everyone. I'm not too sure if he's that great. I'm not too sure. I mean, a lot of people were gassing up Gakpo. Gakpo offered Newman Bukaria yesterday, bro. I don't understand why so many people were gassed by him. You know what I mean? No fez nada, nepia, nada, caramba. Gakpo did nothing yesterday. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It is what it is. We are still trying to go for Bastoni. Listen, I keep hearing Spurs are going for Bastoni. Here's another one. I've not seen him play. He's our top target. Listen, hopefully you don't get him. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you don't get Bastoni. If he's any good, then hopefully you don't get him. You know what I mean? I do rate Romero, to be fair, and I don't need him to have a good lineup. This is why I knew that Tottenham were going to get slapped anyway, because I kept saying it to Deji, the Spurs fan, for anyone that doesn't know, that always comes on the show. I kept telling him, I was like, your defense can get got. Your defense, as individuals, they're dead. Barring Romero, the rest of them, they're not good enough. I don't rate them. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But hopefully Tottenham don't get none of their targets, because I don't want to see that. 75 million plus for Tony, and you know Arsenal are serious. Partey, White, Jesus. Listen, if we get Ivan Tony, Zaha, and Maddison, I can see that we're starting to move serious. And these are all deals that we can get over the line. These are all deals we can get over the line. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Gakpo doesn't move me. Maduke, I think is how you pronounce it. Maduke does. He looked dangerous coming on last night. Listen, I don't know. I still feel like there's better options. I think that kid came from the Tottenham Academy, innit? That Maduke guy. I swear he was at Tottenham. Was it him? I'm not too sure. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not too sure, man. I think there's other players that are ahead of him in the pecking order that are better fit and more what we need instead of Maduke. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I just take all these players that get gassed that are always in the transfer window, transfer news for Arsenal. I take them with a pinch of salt. I do. What's it? Maduke? I don't even know, bruv. I don't even know. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking Madders. Let me just call him Madders, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's the right guy. What's this? Bastoni, Romero, what a back line. I haven't, if everything that's been said about Bastoni, if he's good, then yeah, that is worrying. It is what it is, man. Bastoni, Fratesi, and Single, and we're all done. Okay, if you say so, bro. Tony, Maddison, Anderson, Fafana from Monaco, and we're winning the league. I don't know. I still feel like we need more, but fair enough. Yeah, Noni came from Spurs Academy. Yeah, he was at Spurs Academy. Yeah, exactly. But let's see, man. It's a Nigerian name. Just call him Noni. He's Nigerian. Okay, cool. I don't want at Arsenal. You don't want him at Arsenal? Listen, maybe he is good then. The fact you don't want him at Arsenal, maybe he is good. I don't know why you lot ain't going back in for him though. If he's so great, why Spurs not going back in for him? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is, people. Listen, I'm going to wrap up the show now, people. Make sure you like and subscribe, Kadamba. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Arsenal are playing Southampton on Sunday. I think at 2 p.m. kickoff. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you're always notified every time I'm putting out a video. I'm a bit tired. These ring lights are tiring my eyes. I can't even lie. But yeah, we're going into that game in good form. I'm expecting the win. I'm expecting a comfortable win. And I want the performance, I want the performance to go up. It's all good having possession. If you don't put the team to the sword, it doesn't really mean anything. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Great show as always, bro. Big up, Craig, man. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Trying to keep consistent, trying to keep consistently giving you lot, content, even when there's not loads and loads of news. Arteta out, get that Marika out, stop wasting time. Arsenal, great show. Idman, 3-0, easy. Big up to you, bro. You're always here, Consa. Big up to you, bro. My Trope Elite, my brother, bro. Big up to all of you lot, everyone that tuned in, even the Tottenham fan. Even the Tottenham fan, you know what I mean? Whenever you're ready to switch alliances, come over to Arsenal. And it is what it is, people. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. And I'm out, Kadamba. We're out.